Oh man. Welcome to another beautiful day at Truckbuster's Garage. Today we're driving the 86 Bronco down to Delta. It's been doing great so far. I'm going about 47 miles an hour at 2000 RPM. So if you don't know, that's about time when you change gears into fourth gear, but I don't have fourth gear. I've only got three. So it's loud in here. It's loud enough I can't hear the static on the radio, so that's kind of nice. It's pretty early. It's about 7:50 in the morning. I've been driving for about 20 minutes. We left early so that way we can beat the heat because I don't have AC and my tires are a little questionable, which is what we're going down to Delta for. We're getting some new tires thrown on there so that way we don't have to worry about them blowing up. I did my walk around. Everything was working properly. I stopped about 5 minutes ago just to check on everything, and one of my taillights isn't working anymore. I went through a sprinkler and it stopped working. So hopefully we don't have to use the left blinker for a while. It starts working pretty soon. Other than that though, we're having a great day. I'll check in if I have any updates. That's not good. All right, we are stopped down the side of the road. We are halfway between Goshen and Eureka. So about a third of the way there. And we were doing a lot of climbing. There's a lot of hills here. And the engine temperature started getting a little bit warm and my oil pressure started going down, probably because my RPMs were dropping. And so, sorry. I pulled over on the side of the road and let it sit for a couple minutes with the engine running so it would cool down, and then I turned off the engine and checked the oil, and I'm a little low on oil. I'm going to need to top off before I can leave Delta, but I should have enough to get me there. Small problem is the starter is overheated again, because that's what happens when you drive for an hour with open headers. So we're stuck on the side of the road. I think my dad's coming to bring me a little care kit. I've got food and water, so I'll be just fine. And my windows roll down now, so you can see. We're not going to overheat in here. I've got my nice little bandana thing full of Orbeez to keep me cool. We'll be good. Alright, so what we are about to do is called flat towing. And flat towing is thrilling. It's not my favorite thing to do because it's very stressful, because basically he's got a strap attaching my vehicle about 20-25 feet behind him, and he's providing all the power, but my engine's not running, so I don't have any brakes or power steering. So every single turn and every single downhill is a struggle, because instead of having the engine help me out with the steering and the engine help me out with the brakes, I have to provide all the power for myself. So you can see during these first couple of turns, it takes me a minute to get the feel for it, and then just the brakes were a struggle the entire time. But yeah, flat towing is hard to do, and luckily we made it safe with only one mishap, which you'll see coming up. Uh-oh. Okay, so once we got that all figured out again and got the strap retied, we decided we were going to try something new. So what we did is I took the transfer case out of neutral and put it in too high, and then I put the transmission in drive. And we were going to see if we could spin the engine over with the torque converter, even though that's not something you're normally able to do on a manual on an automatic transmission. So we were going to try to pull start an automatic transmission, which it was worth a shot, but it didn't end up working, so we had to pull over and I had to get it back out of gear and everything set up again. But no damage done. It didn't start it, but it was worth a shot. There we go, tire number 3 is on. Okay, so we found the problem. We got new tires put on too now, because we've been solving it in the most logical order for guys who have been doing this for too long. So the problem with why it wouldn't start up again is because the starter was grounding right here. You can see that's melted right there, and you can see how burned that is right there. So that was facing my headers, and my headers melted through my blanket, through the header wrap, so it could ground on that. On that. Sorry, I didn't have the camera in. So anyway, so that's why it wouldn't start. So it's not a problem with the engine, it's not a problem with the starter, it's a problem with the headers again. So now we're gonna massage the headers even more, and then we're gonna put this back on. This is all sticky now, gross. Yeah, we're gonna put that back on, because that's not the problem. It's only part of the problem. But yeah, so there you go. So that's why it wouldn't start earlier. We had to flat tow it about 50 miles, 55 miles, which was white knuckle, but it was fun. So yeah. Okay, so it's the next morning. As you can see, I made it home just fine, but ended up leaving the Bronco down in Delta. We got it running again, but it just wasn't worth it to bring it home. So I ended up taking my dad's Bronco home. So yeah, but everything's good. We still have to do the transfer case chain on mine, and that honestly should be the last large repair for the next little bit. But thanks for watching.